Lasers in the Field of Biology, brought to you by Daniel and Warner. History of lasers. The term laser originated as an acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. A method for amplifying light had its origins in an idea Einstein developed in 1916. Already in the 1930s, scientists could have built a laser. They had the optical techniques and theoretical knowledge, but nothing pushed these two together. The push came around 1950 from an unexpected direction. Short wavelength radio waves called microwaves could make a cluster of atoms vibrate in revealing ways, a technique that was then called microwave spectroscopy, which eventually led to an object called the maser and laid the blueprint needed in order to create the laser. After many years, finally, the first laser was built in 1960 by Theodore H. Maiman at the Hughes Research Laboratories, based on theoretical work by Charles Hard Townes.
Inventors of lasers. Theodore Harold Maiman was an American engineer and physicist who is widely credited for the invention of the laser. Maiman's laser led to the subsequent development of many other types of lasers. This laser was successfully fired on May 16, 1960. In a July 7, 1960 press conference in Manhattan, Maiman and his employer, Hughes Aircraft Company, announced the laser to the world. Maiman was granted a patent for his invention and received many awards and honors for his work. Charles Hard Townes was an American physicist. Townes worked on the theory and application of the maser, for which he obtained a fundamental patent, and other work in quantum electronics associated with both maser and laser devices. He's known for sharing a Nobel Prize in 1964 with Prokhorov and Besoy for their hard works in the field. Gordon Gould was an American physicist who is often credited with the invention of the laser. Gould is best known for his 30-year fight with the United States Patent and Trademark Office to obtain patents for the laser and related technologies. The reason he battled with the patent for the laser is because Gould recorded his analysis and suggested applications in a laboratory notebook under the heading "Some Rough Calculations on the Feasibility of a Laser, Light Amplification by the Stimulated Emission of Radiation." Alexander Mikhailovich Prokhorov was an Australian-born physicist known for his pioneering research on lasers and masers in the Soviet Union, for which he shared the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1964 with Charles Hard Townes and Nikolai Basov. Nikolai Basov was a Soviet physicist and educator for his fundamental work in the field of quantum electronics that led to the development of the laser and maser. Basov shared the Nobel Prize in 1964 in physics with Alexander Prokhorov and Charles Hard Townes.
Original uses of the laser versus new uses of the laser. Maiman's earlier laser used a powerful energy source to excite atoms in a synthetic ruby to higher energy levels. At a specific energy level, some atoms emitted particles of light called photons. Lasers in today's day and age have many, many uses. A few examples are the intense heat produced in a small area by a laser beam is also used for welding, matching metals, and drilling tiny holes into hard material. The precise straightness of a laser beam is also useful to surveyors for lining up equipment, especially in inaccessible locations such as underground tunnels and sewers. The laser beam can be used to generate three-dimensional images of objects in a process called holography, which displays a holographic photo or video when used. For sports, it's used as a rangefinder for golf, which tells you how far the hole is. It is used for purposes of photographic recording of the output of a computer. It is used to develop hidden fingerprints, and it's used to scan barcodes and provides a sensor for those of you with an automatic garage. Needless to say, they have an infinite amount of uses compared to what they were used for in the 1960s.
Dermatology. The first lasers used to treat skin conditions occurred over 40 years ago. Argon and carbon dioxide lasers were commonly used to treat vascular birthmarks such as port wine stains and hemangioma. Although these birthmarks could be effectively lightened, A side effect was the unacceptably high rate of scar formation. In the last 20 years, advances in laser technology have revolutionized in their use of treatment of many skin conditions and congenital defects, including vascular and pigmented lesions and removal of tattoos, scars and wrinkles. There's a spectrum of laser and light technologies available for skin resurfacing and rejuvenation.
Laser birthmark removal or vascular lesion removal. Vascular lesions are relatively common abnormalities of the skin and underlying tissues, more commonly known as birthmarks. The pulsed-dyed laser is considered the laser of choice for most vascular lesions because of its superior clinical efficiency and low risk profile. It has a large spot size, 5 to 10 millimeters, allowing large lesions to be treated quickly. Side effects may include post-operative bruising, also known as purpura, that may last 1 to 2 weeks, and transient pigmentary changes, crusting, textural changes, and scarring are rarely seen in this situation. Lasers work by producing short pulses of intense, pure, one color of light that passes through the top layers of skin to be selectively absorbed by the birthmark's pigment. This laser energy causes the pigment to fragment microscopically. Some of the pigment comes off with the crust that forms after laser treatment. The body absorbs some of the pigment as it heals, and a small amount of pigment stays invisible in the tissue. The dermatologist determines which wavelength or color of light to use and how to best direct the laser's energy to treat the birthmark.
Laser tattoo removal. Laser tattoo removal is the only clinically proven method of removing a tattoo without the causing of scarring. For more than a decade, Q-switched lasers have been designed to create ultra-short pulses of light energy that help remove the tattoo. During a tattoo removal procedure, laser light is applied to the tattoo area of the skin. The light is selectively absorbed by the tattoo ink particles, leaving the surrounding skin tissues and chromophores unharmed. The tattoo ink particles absorb the laser energy, heat up, and shatter into smaller ink particles. In the days and weeks following a laser treatment, the body's immune system flushes away the shattered ink particles, causing the tattoo to fade away. Over a series of treatments, more and more of the ink shatters, leaving the skin free of ink.
Laser hair removal. Lasers can be used to remove excessive and cosmetically disabling hair due to hypertrichosis or hirsutism. Laser treatments remove dark hair quickly, and it may take 3 to 6 months before regrowth is evident. Several treatment cycles are required with spacing between them. Treatments depend on body area being treated. Laser treatments are less painful and much quicker than electrolysis, which is another type of hair removal. Complications are rare, but superficial burns, pigmentary changes, and even scarring may occur. Increased growth of fine dark hair in untreated areas close to the treated ones has been reported. Both increased and reduced localized sweating have been reported after treatment. Now, you may be wondering how lasers actually work in the process of hair removal. During laser hair removal, a laser emits a light that is absorbed by a pigment, melanin, in the hair. The light energy is converted to heat, which damages the hair follicle within the skin that produces the hairs. This damage inhibits or delays future hair growth. What we found most interesting about our topic.
So, what me and Daniel found most interesting about lasers is that it came from an idea in 1916 from Einstein. And over time, lasers had many technological advances. And it went from just a theory to the blueprint of a first laser that was used as a power source. This is something that we use in our everyday lives that we don't even realize we're using. Obviously, lasers are cool and all, but for me and Daniel, the most interesting thing is the history and how they came to be.
Why we chose lasers in the first place.
Because being athletes that have both suffered from injury, both me and Warner have used laser therapy to help us recover quicker and get us back to full health after injuries. When it came to lasers, we both knew that we had a lead in biology because of our previous experiences. But We found the way that lasers are used in dermatology is much cooler than they are when they're used to heal injuries. And obviously, growing up, lasers were always something really cool, but me and Warner wanted to explore a more clinical use of them.
How effective are lasers and how have they enhanced society?
Lasers are extremely effective, especially after hearing where they came from. If something can go from only being used to excite atoms to being able to complete hundreds of other tasks, effective is obviously an understatement. It's easy to say that lasers have enhanced society, whether that be removing an ugly birthmark, welding a piece of metal together, or even helping you pay for your groceries. Lasers have evolved, no question, and have enhanced society, no doubt. We can easily say that lasers are one of the most useful inventions ever created.